guys, welcome back to Viva Go See. Today we're going to do an unboxing of the BliTZWOlF BW-BS14 Smartphone Gimbal. So when you first get the box, it kind of rattles a little bit. Don't worry too much. We've got some accessories floating around inside. So what do we have? Got a user manual. We have charging cable. We have a small tripod, which is actually very handy. And we have a strap for the case. Now the case itself is quite nice. It's semi-hard case, kind of fake leather. It's got some good cushioning. Don't feel any hard parts in it. So it looks like it cushions the unit quite nicely. Let's see what we have inside. All right. So when we open the unit, you can see it's in a nice molded case. Very nice looking. Control panel, brand name. Very smooth, very sleek. It doesn't look cheap at all. When I take it out of the case, it kind of moves around quite a bit. That's because these motors have not engaged. So that's the 3-axis right there. And when the unit is off, they're not engaged. So everything is free floating. So I think it's worth mentioning right away that on the unit at the top is a friction lock, small friction lock, not too strong, just enough, that holds this arm in place. So now everything is free floating. So just be aware that it's just a friction lock. You don't want to swing it around and cause any damage. On the front panel, we have your typical control panel with multi-functions. At the bottom of the panel is a zoom wheel. That's the great thing about this unit. It has a zoom wheel and it also has a joystick. Very nice, very smooth. On the left-hand side, we have 3 LED indicators for the battery charge, high, medium, and low. On the right-hand side here, we have the LEDs which indicate which mode you're in for the locking mechanism for the motors. The 3 functions. We'll get into that in a minute when we turn the unit on. And this is a Bluetooth indicator, another LED. It's going to flash until you connect Bluetooth. So that pretty much covers the front side. Over on the left-hand side, we have a charging port, micro SD. On the handle, on both sides, we have discrete rubber strip, helps with the grip. On the back side, we have a trigger to operate the camera, video and or photos. Above that, we have another port, which is a USB out you can use to power your phone while you're filming. So the construction of this is really quite impressive. Very solid, very clean looking, and it has a very, very nice weight to it. Very nice, not heavy and not too light, doesn't feel cheap at all. Here we have the phone mount. And I like these because they're independent, but they work together when the phone is mounted, when you have the unit and the proper axis, which will be this way. You can actually help to balance moving both of these together, sliding the phone up and down. On the back, we have a knob that we can loosen. You decide you want to switch from landscape to portrait mode. You can just set it up like that. But normally, for most movies, you'll have it in the horizontal or landscape axis. So we'll put that back. Okay, so that's about it. What we want to do is we want to make sure this is powered off before we mount the phone. Any movement you want to do with this unit should be done with the power off, so you don't stress the motors. It's a very handy little tripod that they give us. It works to help stability when you're mounting the phone and whatnot. Okay, so we have the unit on the tripod, and now we're going to want to mount the phone. Here we go with the phone. I'm going to rest it down here. That's why we need the tripod. Pop it into place. Secure. Now remember that this little lock at the back is all that's holding this thing steady, so if you pop it out of there, your phone's going to drop and swing. You don't want to crack it on anything because this is extremely solid material. So, first thing we want to do is we want to adjust the horizontal balance. So this is a counterweight here, and we need to adjust the value of it by loosening this knob, and then the unit will slide in either direction. Careful there, as you can see. So we'll slide it to adjust the horizontal balance, and I would say that that is very, very close enough. So now we have it balanced that way, and I think it's balanced this way as well. If it wasn't, we could grab onto these and slide them up and down a little bit just to get it to balance. I didn't mention that the power button is in the center of the zoom wheel. It's a multi-function button. It's going to turn the unit on and off. Also, when the unit is on, it acts as a selector for the operating mode of the gimbal itself. And also, while it's on, if you double click it quickly, it returns the unit to the home status, which is basically plumb and level. So we're going to power on. Just a long press on the key, the LEDs will blink, let us know it's powering. It's taken power. The unit is popped into what I call home position. So right now you can see the motors are engaged. We don't want to be fighting against those now. The top indicator of 3 is lit up, which indicates to us that the lock status is it's free moving. It will follow the movement of your hand. So if your hand turns the gimbal, swings the gimbal horizontally or vertically, it will follow that motion. We switch through these modes with a simple click of the on-off switch. The different modes are going to control how the gimbal functions with our movement and the subject movement. So when we have the unit in the first mode, the unit is actually going to follow, or the arm is actually going to move with the gimbal. So if you pan to the right, pan to the left, the gimbal is going to follow the movement of your wrist basically. And up and down is the same. When we switch to the second mode, the gimbal will hold its vertical axis. But it will follow the hand on the horizontal plane. When we move to the third mode, the unit will maintain its vertical and horizontal planes. Now, if you want to actually control the subject of the unit, this is what makes it float, by the way. This is the mode that's great for when you're moving, and maybe you're following your subject, but for sure when you are moving yourself. In all modes, the joystick can override, can help you manage the subject. The unit has 340-degree horizontal rotation. Double-clicking on the power button, which will bring the unit home. The vertical rotation is about 335 degrees. Pretty amazing, really. You pull yourself into a selfie and people don't get seasick. Double click the home button and the unit comes home. When it comes time to turn the unit off, we don't want to take the phone out or do anything with the motors engaged. We're going to turn this unit off by holding the same on-off switch for a few seconds. Now be careful because it's going to disengage the motors and the phone is free floating. If you've got this at a wrong angle or anything or move it around, you could end up smacking your phone. For most phones, you can't pop it back into the little locking mechanism. So the motors are disengaged and it's floating freely. I'm going to take my phone out. Go back, loosen the knob off, pull the unit, shorten the arm on the unit so it'll fit, and move it back into place. And it's got the lock engaged. And there it is. It's quite secure. Still swings sideways. Remove the tripod. Put the unit back in the case. And that is the BliTZWOlF BW-BS14 3-axis smartphone gimbal.